You're listening to Turi Writers' She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. It's day 6 of Marcy Without Cigarettes. I flunked community college Spanish and the not-so-constant joy of owning an old, beloved dog. Have you ever had a teacher where you know he or she just personally cannot stand you?
Every teacher I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I was not a good student at all. Looking back, I should have been on all kinds of drugs, and I was, but they were the wrong kind. So, oh well. But the ones I was on are not the same that they are now.
And not prescribed, you're telling me.
Yeah, they're the drugs we were pretty much all on in the 70s.
Except for
and
me.
60s.
Susie Clean
Except for
Lung.
you.
Yeah,
I know.
The worst. I know.
Yeah.
The original designated driver.
Party pooper.
It was me. Well, you know I'm taking Spanish, adult Spanish online, right?
Yeah.
And
so the computer doesn't like you?
No, the community college profesora has an intense dislike of me.
Why is that?
I don't know, but she says things like, there's stuff in the textbook. I don't know if she knows what I do. I think I told her I was a journalist when everybody had to say what they did. But she says things in class like, there'll be an example in the textbook of somebody running their own Spanish radio station, and she'll say, well, nobody listens to the radio anymore. And
you want me to write you like a character reference and tell her that we have 3 listeners?
Yeah, that should help. And then the other thing is, every week we have to write 6 sentences with what we know. So this started way back, like months ago, when I wrote a sentence that said, she wants a dog and a cat. And the professor marked the sentence as a bad sentence. She said, she can't want a dog and a cat. She has to want a dog or a cat.
What?
So she flunked me. Did I tell you this?
How about trying my teacher is a bitch?
There's a sentence. I wonder what she'd do with that. La profesora. Let's see. I have to decide if that's a permanent condition or a temporary condition.
Permanent.
Permanent? So,
yeah.
Es una, I have to look up bitch. I have to look that up. I can't even, because if it's temporary,
dog.
Yeah, then it's está, you see. And yeah, I have to look at that. Here's the other problem. There's so many problems with her. She flunked me at the end of last spring term, and it happens that my study partner also works in the registrar's office. So my study partner says to me, you know, it's community college. She can't actually flunk you. You could just keep showing
for the same class over and over.
Yes,
again.
I could take the next part and the next. I can sign myself into like 5th year Spanish if I want to.
That's hilarious,
isn't it? I can
stalker. Do it.
Well,
do it. Never quit. Make her quit first.
It's kind of what it's come to. You know what? I'm just going to keep showing up. You can mark me down. You can say there's no such thing as somebody who wants a dog and a cat. I would like to send her a picture of your house, for example, or anybody with kids. Also, we're supposed to write sentences with celebrities, but the celebrities she picks are always people I have no idea about. She wants us to write a descriptive paragraph about Bad Bunny.
Oh, he's cute.
Well, but I don't care or know anything about Bad Bunny. I wrote a sentence about Isabel Allende, and she just wrote, what?
Bad Bunny is good looking.
I don't care
he's dating one of the Kardashians or
this
Jenners
is
or
my
something.
point. This is my entire point.
I know.
Right.
Like I said, just keep showing up. That's like the best revenge.
Yeah.
We don't even need to make a list of revenges for this.
Yeah.
Just keep signing up for class over and over again.
Yes, that's right. She's running some kind of Spanish student abattoir because we started out with 3 sections, each of which had at least a dozen students, and she's now down to 10. 10 students in total. You do that math. That's a
My teacher is a bitch.
That's That's a 60-something% attrition rate. So there you go. If this were the war in Ukraine,
Yeah,
it would be over.
Ukraine. Ask me how many pieces of gum I have in my mouth right now.
Uh, do I really want to know?
I'm not smoking.
All right. This is
Ta-da.
day what? 6?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm running into doors and hitting my head, getting into the car. I'm having all kinds of withdrawal accidents, I used to call them.
Don't drive.
I know. I can't go outside really
Really? Well,
because
that's where the cigarette smoking was done.
yep, we don't smoke in the house. We've
Right.
never smoked in our house. We go out on the front deck to smoke. And so I'm trying to avoid anything that I used to do and smoke until I don't have the craving anymore. And one of them is going outside. Like every time I went outside, I lit a cigarette
Because you
well,
could.
because that's how we lived. Yes, because we could. So I'm doing good driving. I can drive without smoking. I took the ashtray out of the car. The car doesn't smell like smoke. And I make sure that there's a pregnant person next to me every single time who I don't smoke around anyway.
And she doesn't smoke.
No,
Yeah.
but the going outside thing is still an issue. So
Yeah, I
I'm
would think.
housebound.
I would imagine that's a big problem.
I'm housebound.
So
But
what if you got like a giant, this is always my solution for everything. What if you got a giant human-sized gerbil ball?
I thought you were going to say gerbil.
Yeah. No, no. You know those gerbil balls? I have to explain this every time. People would buy gerbils and hamsters, and they would run under the couch and never come out. So what they sell at the pet store are these giant plastic vented gerbil balls or hamster balls, and then you can put the pet in there, and it runs around, and it can go places, but it can't go under anything small and gets stuck there because there's a giant plastic ball all around it. So what if
They do make those.
for people?
The Boy in the Bubble, John Travolta. It was a movie from like 1970 something, and it's really, really awful. He couldn't act at all. I think it was pre Vinnie Barbarino. That's how old it was. But yes, he's a boy who ran around in a bubble and lived in a bubble
Oh, that's right.
because
He
he
had
had
some
some
kind
bubble
of
disease.
disease. Yeah. The bubblegum disease would be what your
Yeah.
problem would be.
Well, I'm actually I bought a bunch of organic cinnamon sticks.
That was my suggestion, I'd like to
Yeah,
point out.
yeah, but they're not cinnamony enough.
Really?
And they,
Huh. Well,
but
I think if you chew on them for a while, they get stronger, believe it or not.
oh, okay. I haven't chewed on them
Yeah,
because I don't chew on my cigarettes.
they don't smell like much, but you just have to kind of gnaw on them.
Okay.
And then they get a little like as you should pardon me being graphic here, but as your saliva moistens them, they or they could just be old and stale and that'd be Amazon at its best for you.
There you go. I'm just afraid that, like, by chewing gum all the time, I'm building up these giant muscles in my jaw, and my face is gonna bulge out
Like the
from these
Hulk, the Hulk of
muscles.
Jaws, you're gonna
Yes,
just sort of turn into a jaw Hulk.
yes, I will, but not green unless I'm sick.
Well,
But yeah, so that's where we stand around here. I have a dog just walking around in a haze that is concerning. He's our old boy. I mean, he tries to play. He's happy. He wasn't the smartest to begin with. So now, if you can imagine,
just I love it when people say my dogs are like my children, and then later on they'll
no.
say, well, good old Fifi, not the smartest, and I'm thinking, I wonder what you say about your children.
Well, I have a couple of those too.
Not
No, I
the
don't. No, I don't.
smartest.
No, they're part of our 3 listeners. But this dog in particular is Turi in Spanish class. He
Yeah.
has failed obedience school twice.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I am not really here's the other thing. I am not flunking the actual work. I'm flunking my professor, which is a different thing entirely. And
That's what he tried to tell us too. That it was our fault. He doesn't know his name.
What?
We started him in obedience school when he was 6 months old. Failed the first time. They give you a guarantee that if they don't pass, they can come back until they pass.
Oh, like community college.
Yes, we went back to torture the teacher.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll pass him if you promise not to ever bring him back. So I have like this very sketchy graduation picture of Frankie, like with just his eyes look like shock and awe. and the dog just kind of looking dirt at her, who never learned his name. And he's 12 now. And you can still call him anything.
How are you going to know when he's really past it if he doesn't know his name right now?
Well, he never did, so.
Right, that's my point. So you're never really going to know.
I think he thinks his name is Treat.
Oh, yeah.
If I say the word treat, or if he hears any kind of a bag rustling, he's like right there stepping on my foot.
So he thinks his name is Plastic Bag, basically.
Well, among other things. Like, I won't be able to say here because I did say bitch
already several times. Yes, several times.
Yes,
said the word.
Because this is mature talk for immature listeners.
I like that slogan. It works for us.
Yep,
it's absolutely truth in advertising right there. So I'm sorry about the dog, but I'm glad he's enjoying. This is the other thing. We all say this and we all try to live it. As long as our pets are enjoying their lives, we will keep them going if we can. But we sort of forget what's going to be involved on our end.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I had one, in a wheelchair. And when you pick her up and put her in the wheelchair, big dog, it was a festival of floor washing was what it was. And people would come up and thank us for keeping our dog going. What I wanted to say was keeping the dog going is no trouble at all. Keeping any place I can walk in the house, that's the challenge.
He still goes to the bathroom outside.
Good.
And he lays with the goats. He loves the goats.
Sounds like a curse. You lay with the goats.
The goats. I know.
That's like a terrible curse.
It's making him happy.
Well, they're probably confused that you're not smoking. The pets.
Oh, two of them are. Yes, the two that, like, as soon as I picked up a pack of cigarettes, they were like my best friends.
Yeah, because they were
allowed to go out the front door. Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Hey,
we live in the forest.
I would like to point out, by the way, that as we record this, we're coming on for Halloween, and I'm still waiting for my mechanical spider that will go up and down the front of my house, which I don't yet
I will
have.
send that to you.
I don't
it's
have.
Been sitting on this is how long it's been since we've eaten at our dining room table. It's been sitting there since the first time we talked about that thing.
Well, where do you eat? Standing at the kitchen counter in front of the TV on little tables? Where do you? When I was there, you ate at the dining table because I was there.
Yeah. Well, we don't because it's just Frankie and I. So we just sit on the couch and spill food all over. And then the dogs lick it up. That's what dogs are for. I don't
want to think about that too much. I really don't want to think about that. That every time I sat on your couch, I was sitting on dog spit. Now. Yeah, but when I come back to see you, every time I sit down, I'll be sitting on a mouthful of dog spit.
Yes, you will.
I don't think I care for that very much. I think I'm going to bring one of those little camping chairs that people bring to like their kids' soccer game. Just so
we have those.
The dog drools on that too.
These dogs drool everywhere. One of them's a bulldog. The other one, half his face doesn't work. Scarlett Johansson is the only one that doesn't drool.
Why? They are leather couches, though, right? So you could theoretically, before I come and park my beautiful backside,
we do have a leather couch.
You could like wipe one of them down for me.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I would.
I'll
Actually,
ask.
It's got blankets on it. I covered it up.
Request that I get the non-drool infested couch
where we don't let the goats sit.
Goats. Oy. Okay, I don't want to think about this anymore. You look clean. You look clean to me. That's all I know.
I am clean.
You smell good every time I see you. You smell good. You look clean. Yeah.
There you go. So you're safe.
That's good enough for me. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.